Welcome everyone. How's everyone doing? It's Wednesday, hump day, and we're here to talk about not just crypto, but the whole world's markets. So we always can focus on crypto, but we should also look at other markets. So I'm going to start talking about Forex and stocks and gold and silver and bonds. So you guys can learn different markets to play while the crypto market potentially has some bearish movements. We're waiting. Let's try to look at other ways we can actually make some profit. So let's see who's here. Everyone who's here, say hello. If you're watching this video, do me a favor, help me out. Click on that share button on Facebook. Click on that subscribe button, that little bell, the like buttons. Do me a little help. That would be great. Love you guys. All right, so I missed you guys too. I've been really busy trying to get a lot of stuff sorted, and obviously then we have this obvious very big bearish movement. We saw it. We told everybody basically on Sunday there's something happening. It's probably going to dip, and we see it dip to basically 4K on BitMEX as of, I think it was last night. It was like 4,010. So yeah, that was scary obviously for a lot of people, but we got out of the market, and hopefully you guys did too. What's up, Andre, Femi, Carl, Vlado, welcome. So today I'm going to look at all the markets, and I'm going to tell you guys what's going on, not just in crypto, but let's start looking at other markets first. So let's jump into some other things, and as you guys have questions, do leave comments. I'm going to show you some different things that have happened over the last little while. So the first thing that I'm showing you here is the Dow Jones Index. And as you guys can see, I called on August 26th that we're going to have a dip. It's coming within the next year or two. I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming. So we had a little bit of upward movement, and then we had this nice downward movement. It starts to move up, it moves down again, it moves up, kind of like how crypto did in December and January, and then we had this huge dip. So we see that in not just this market, but in many different markets. So we have to look at all the different indexes and see what's actually happening in the whole world's markets to understand better what's happening in crypto and just basically in the world. So you know, it's not really looking good for a lot of different markets. So if you take that in consideration, you'd understand why a speculative market as of right now, as it is like crypto, people potentially pull out and go into fiat and go into gold, and we'll talk about that. So as we see, this is the NASDAQ. As we can see, it has dipped since August 27th. Basically, I called it on the 26th. Since the 27th, it's been all downward motion, all downtrend. And we can see that obviously we are having, you know, in the United States at least, a very downtrend market altogether. Okay. Then we look at the Russell, and look at the Russell since August. So, you know, where you see that nice very top arch is very close to the 26th of August. And then look where we are now. We've had a huge decline on the Russell. So we see all these different areas that are moving on a very downward trend. Okay. And I saw this coming, right? So hopefully you guys hedged. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to show you that today, what it means to hedge. So the Russell goes down. Then we look at the S&P 500. Again, similar trend. Things are going downhill. We look like we have a head and shoulders pattern very perfectly from the 29th of October, or basically where if you look from the 29th to the 19th of November, it looks like we're going to keep going down. So these are the things that you have to take note of. Obviously, there's some markets that'll continue doing well, but when the US market really starts hurting, usually all other markets start hurting. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, when we continue on, I want to show you guys 5 tech stocks, and it says 800 billion, but actually it's closer to 1 trillion as of right now. So Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Alphabet have all declined, obviously almost together, about $1 trillion. So when we see the tech bubble, it almost looks like a tech bubble that's popped. Or, you know, we see Apple making iPhones at $1,500. It's almost crazy for us to think that they would charge that much for an iPhone, right? But the thing is, then we see it's not sustainable. We see the market's correct, and we've seen them. They're obviously way overdone. It's the longest bull run that's ever happened in history. So we're due for a correction. And so when all the other markets are correcting, generally people pull their money out of markets. So when people start seeing this, they start panicking, they take their money out, they put it in fiat, they put it in gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, and they put them in safe investments that kind of hold their value or could go up in value when people hedge. Okay, so I'm going to show you that as well. We also see bond market. So since basically August, end of August, start of September, we've seen the bond market as well fall. So all the markets are falling. And what that means is that you're going to see many different people from different walks of life pulling their money out. It doesn't matter if they're in crypto. It doesn't matter if they're in stocks. It doesn't matter if they're in Forex. People are right now, especially because it's near the end of the new year, are going to start pulling their money out of their investments to fiat so they can go on vacation. Traders generally don't trade in the end of January, end of December, start of January. They start trading near the end of January again. And you're kind of seeing some other stuff, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit when we talk about the end of January. So when we look at precious metals, we can see what's actually the trend which happened. So the last 3 months, other than silver basically, and silver did start in the last week to move a little bit, and when I mean a little bit, I mean a really minuscule a little bit. We've seen in the last 3 months, people have been hedging. You see the money going into different metals, which is basically common when you see markets start to drop. So people will start throwing their money into hedges and basically protecting their investment, because these things generally, metals don't go up and down like crazy. They usually hold a certain value for a longer period of time, so they make them a safe investment. And also we go into fiat, which makes a lot of sense too. How's it going, Olaf? How's it going, Jason and Kenneth? How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day. So I want to talk about this as well, Brexit. So what is Brexit going to do to, you know, the Great British Pound? Is it going to have a good or bad impact? And let's look at what it has had so far. So basically, as we can see here, we've actually seen this whole Brexit stuff where people think they're going to come to this solution. It's going to positively impact the Forex market. And we're going to see the Great British Pound either pump, or if they have this huge problem, expect for it to dump against the US dollar, for example, or the euro, and obviously the pound to drop. So let's just keep an eye on that. The euro, you definitely keep your eye on for it to drop in value against other currencies. It's something to really know. Okay. Now we have, we're going to switch over to crypto, and I'm going to show you how all this stuff basically has a lot to do with what's going on in crypto as well. So what we know about crypto right now is we have anti-money laundering watchdogs that are basically building the foundation for crypto regulation. And because of that, there's a lot of speculation in the crypto market. You have a lot of other things happening as well in the crypto market, which I'm also going to make light on. But when you have regulations that people don't know what's going to happen, it kind of makes them worried. We also know coming up in basically the end of January, which obviously I'm going to talk about one other thing that's coming in the end of January, we see that the Ethereum futures market's coming. So Ethereum's at a great price for those big institutions to buy right now, because it's at a very, very low price compared to what it was, you know, even 5 months ago. Comparing now, it's cheap, and if they want to stock up, it would be a great time for them to do it, because people are extremely scared. All right, so I'm gonna flip up something real quick. So let me just give me a second here, and let me just show you something. Okay, so what I want to show you guys, are you serious? It's doing this thing again. Okay, so basically, Craig Wright comes out, and you guys are seeing what's happening here, right? Everyone else is seeing this, right? So this is Brave browser, and it's doing that, which is really interesting, because it shouldn't be. But let me try to reload this and show you what this is. Okay, so I can't show you what this is for some reason, but basically Craig Wright is going on with Don Wonton. Try to look it up, guys. It's really hard to find. For some reason, it doesn't want to load on my browser. But basically, he goes on, and Craig Wright sits there and tells this kid, we are gonna basically dog them to the end. We're gonna make them basically sell their Bitcoin. He's basically saying like he's gonna do everything, and he's basically gonna screw everyone, and too bad, it's so sad. deal with it kind of deal. And it's really, really ridiculous. He then comes on and he's like, how much money do you have to waste? And he comes on and he brings out like a Rolex and these special watches, and he's like, well, here's a day, and here's a day, and here's 2 weeks, and he's like talking about how he doesn't care about money. And you could tell he's drinking in the video, so he might be obviously in his sorrows. But it's really, really interesting how much these hash wars have had an effect on cryptocurrencies, and how basically it's caused a lot of the exodus of the market, I believe, definitely because of all this stuff with Bitmain and mining Bitcoin versus Bitcoin Cash, and forcing people to basically mine Bitcoin Cash even though they want to mine Bitcoin. So it's really interesting stuff that's going on in the market right now. And I want to show you another thing. So we see that Bakkt has the delay of its launch of the Bitcoin futures till the end of January. And now a lot of people are like, why would they do that? And it makes so much sense to me. They have all these hash wars going on. Bitcoin's dumping. It's got, it does look like it has a bottom around 38K. We'll see if it goes lower. It could. It's possible to 33. It could even go lower, but I don't believe so. I believe the powers that be would not want to ruin Bitcoin by making mining so unaffordable that no one would really do it anymore. So that's something also to consider. But why the end of January? And it just makes perfect sense. By the end of January, these guys will have wasted so much money that basically, either Roger Ver or Craig Wright, ABC or SV, one of these are going to implode. It's basically almost ready. Craig Wright is doing a lot of things that basically Bitcoin's whole foundation was to stop, was a centralized power, was lots of money to kind of screw over everyone else other than what they want. And it's just really sad. And we're going to see that this hash war eventually has to end because no one can sustain this waste of money. And when it does, then we'll see Bakkt come in, we'll see the ETH futures start, and I believe that will be after Christmas. We'll probably see the market actually grow again when we're in the new year. I think that even if we do have some growth over the next 2-3 weeks, by the end of the next 3 weeks, everyone's pulling their money out for vacations, and so I believe truly that we won't see tons of growth until 2019, and we'll see STOs starting to come onto the platforms as well. Now, another really big thing that happened, and I'm just going to end on this one, is the SEC has a crypto crackdown. And two of the ICOs, one being Paragon, okay, and Paragon, and the other one being AirFox, have gotten penalized because they basically ran a security offering, a security token offering. And what I truly believe is going to happen, guys, is pretty interesting. I believe that this whole security token offering that's happening is going to be the new norm. You're going to see real companies, and I'm working with some that are going to basically tokenize their assets for more liquidity in their markets. You're going to see a lot of that in real estate because how hard is it to get your house sold? It takes forever. Imagine tokenizing it and selling a piece of your house to someone else. So that's kind of a cool idea that's coming out. And so STOs are going to come out and they're going to be security token offerings. And what we're seeing with ICOs is basically most of them are probably going to get these penalties, stay open if they're good, or shut down because most of these were security tokens. And another thing is this whole promise of what they were going to do on the roadmap. How many ICOs actually did any of that, right? So you have to think of all those things. And this is probably a very big reason why there's been a lot of pull out of the market because people are kind of worried that maybe some cryptos are going to be erased because of the SEC, etc. And they have every right to worry about that, actually. What's up, Yasser? I just saw you there, bud. And Lily, yeah, Craig Wright is absolutely wrong. I don't understand what he's trying to actually prove in all this. What I do see is him costing a lot of different people that are normal people money that didn't know to get out of the market, or when people told them, they just didn't believe it and stayed in. And what I've seen, actually, a lot of people that I've told, hey guys, Sunday night, there's a waterfall coming. My buddy Mike told me he's seen it. There's a bear flag. I saw it too now. Get out. People were like, nah, it's not going to drop, you know? And that's the whole thing with the hodl. You can't make yourself believe that it won't happen. If people tell you it's going to happen and they know, you should believe them. And if you don't, you know, that's your own part. Like, we don't tell you what to do, but we tell you what we do, and if we're gonna do it, you probably should too. But I'm really surprised actually by one thing. Yasser, you're here, Mike's here. I said about a month and a half ago, I feel like there's a big drop coming, and everyone actually bagged on me about it about 3 weeks ago. People were bagging on me like, yeah man, yeah, nice drop, blah blah blah. But now we see it happen, right? So the thing about TA is there's no time. Okay guys, so one thing you have to remember is that's why I stayed hedged out. I was only hedged half in, half out, because I knew it could happen anytime, and when we saw it, we got out. But the thing is when a market is really volatile, you have to be careful and you know, make a plan. Okay, make a plan. Anyways, that's basically all the stuff that's going on in crypto. That's all the stuff that's going on in the world markets. So if you see, the world markets and the crypto markets are very much similar right now. The bond markets are dropping, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones are all dropping, the Russell's dropping, they're all dropping, right? And so we see that we have Brexit with the Forex potential to make the EU or the Great British Pound do very well, you know, or very bad. So we can take consideration of that when you're looking around, and see that you also have a lot of different other markets you can be looking at. And I believe truly that, you know, this stock market's not going to keep you know, coming back up. It's going to keep dropping for a while, and so you should be prepared for that and do what you think is smart. Personally, what I would do if I had stocks, I would probably personally sell them and short some of them that I see are dropping. But if you're not someone who likes to take any risks, don't do it. This is not financial advice, okay? I'm just telling you what I would do, and a lot of other traders were probably doing this already. And you've seen this in crypto. People have shorted the market the whole way down, and they've done very well with that. So you can make money on the way up and the way down. So just remember that. And yeah, that's basically it for now. Watch the metal market. It should be growing as our markets drop, and people will go into fiat. And that's why people are saying next year, watch crypto, because as institutions will start throwing money into it, you should start to see people that have hedged out look into crypto and go, well, that's starting to grow again, and put some money in, because the stock market is going to drop over a long period of time, because it's not 24/7, 365. And because of that, it opens and closes. It will take longer to drop down. And will it drop to nothing? No, absolutely not. Will it crash completely? I don't think so. But we'll have a big crash. It's going to keep going down for at least another year. You're going to have a bear market at least a year. At least. All bear markets in stocks usually last at least 1 to 2 years. So keep that in mind as well, that the crypto market's at pretty much the bottom as it can pretty much get. If it gets a little lower, it's true. But the stock market's just starting. And, you know, Forex always there's fiat always to be made if you know which currencies follow what's going on in the world, and you guys will be ready to go. So Coach K signing off. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys on Friday for TA Fridays. Take it easy, everyone.